Hashtag no music, no intro. We are back, even though we haven't been gone for that long. It feels like maybe we have been gone for that long. Another episode of the Saints Block Party podcast coming at you. Wrapping up OTAs, talking Saints. We have mandatory minicamp right around the corner. It starts next week. So please know that there's gonna be tons and tons of, we got y'all covered regarding that. It's just one of those things like people are like, oh, where's the podcast? Like we've been here. We just been dealing with life and personal stuff and just life is life. And as I used to say to a former friend of mine, life is a scam. And not always, but in some ways and sometimes like life can really be a scam, bro. So but just some updates regarding the community. So if you are on the West Coast, or you plan to go to the Saints Chargers game, and you're a Patreon, October 27th is the day of the game. Please make sure you either RSVP or let me know that you plan to go. The number of tickets that you need, it is $62 per ticket. $62 per ticket to go to the Saints Chargers game. And then for the Falcons Saints game, the big meetup in New Orleans on November 10th. I gotta get this off my chest, bro. I do not understand. Of 32 NFL teams, we have a Saints podcast. In 2 years, the ease and convenience of getting group tickets for away games for Rams and Chargers, obviously they're both at SoFi, and for the Texans, compared to getting a home Saints game group tickets, has been the most disastrous thing. It feels like it doesn't even feel like the team is ran in the same type of level that other teams ran around the league.
Don't make no sense.
We were told that the Saints only, I believe it was like, there's like 2 sections in the Superdome that they allocate just to group tickets for like large parties. But unlike almost every other team in the league, they put their group tickets like literally, and I don't know if this is like just what they're saying and that it's just a hot lie, or maybe it is actually how they do things and they're just dumb, but are on like the club level. So basically, like, we did the math, like for us to have been able to get group tickets, like it would have been like for the number of people, it would have been like 15K.
What? That don't make no goddamn sense.
Also does not include food or drinks. It's just but yet I shouldn't say every, all the other 3 teams that I have done these meetups for, there's typically 2 type of tickets. There's basically sitting like in the stands, or like where we were for the Texans game or somewhere close. Those tickets are around the same, like, $80 a ticket, $100 a ticket, depending on the game, depending on the team. And then there's like the bougier tickets, right? That's closer, blah, 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 right? It is unfathomable to me that the Saints run an organization where the only group tickets are like essentially like club level seats that's like 15K.
Don't make no sense.
None, bro. None.
I'm sure we ain't the only group of people trying to have like a group trip. Come on now.
So either someone is lying, or they're just dumb, or they just run bad business, bro. Like there's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. That said, right now we're around 20 people hoping to 20 people have RSVP'd to come into the Saints Falcons game. Please. So those tickets, because we can't get a group rate through the Saints for whatever reason, those tickets are looking to be about $103 per ticket. Please make sure that if you're Patreon and all that. Oh, sorry. Clarification. It would have been $12K for 30 people if we were to do it, bro. $12K, Ryan, for 30 people. That's what, $430 or $500 or whatever it is per person.
Patrons ain't hitting like that. Hey,
like when that report came out, they didn't pay the bill, bro. Like, it made sense because it's just like, But yet, when we did the Pelicans games meetup, that was $100 per ticket. We had club seats and all you can eat food and unlimited liquor all night. It don't make sense to me, Ryan. I need someone. I need someone to break it
I
down to
don't
me,
know.
bro.
I don't know what's going on. They gotta really reevaluate that whole thing, what they doing down there.
Anyhow, if you're
Meanwhile, they're
Patreon,
sending the spam email and text to everybody. Want these season tickets? Go get these season tickets.
please get these season tickets. Please, we broke. Can you do it? Can you get a season ticket? Can you get it? Anyway, let me stop. If you are a Patreon, if you are planning to come to the meetup, or specifically for the game, if you're planning to come and sit with us, please RSVP. So the max number was 20. I've extended that, so now I think it's like 25. I want to make sure that we can all sit together. So essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to have to, once everyone's paid or at least half people are paid, I'm going to buy 18 or 20, however, and then just with the money that people send over to me, I'll make sure it's paid off. So just make sure you reach out, you RSVP, please, and pay the 103 whenever, hopefully sooner rather than later, but whenever you can. So that's just like the planning for the meetup. And then before we get into OTAs, I just want to talk about the power of the internet, podcasts, connections, community. Our dude Miguel, who was our first Patreon, and Miguel has been supporting me even when Underhill and I was doing Saints Talk. And Miguel, when he was at UCLA, he was a student. Now my dude's doing great things in the world. He's a therapist. He's like just doing what a person is supposed to be doing in life at the highest level, and much love and respect for him. But the fact that he has been like one of my biggest supporters for as long as I've been podcasting, which has almost been about like 6+ years. And I've only been doing photography since like last July. So not even a year. The fact that both him and his now wife were able to trust me to do their wedding photography this past Sunday, I cannot like speak to the level of like what this community is all about. Like when we talk about podcasting, right? Think about that, bro. Like that is like the biggest day of a person's life.
Oh man,
a person's life.
Huge level of choice.
Huge. And I was trusted of capturing one of the biggest days of their lives, man. And as of someone who, still is green to photography, like I know what I'm doing. I have talent. I'm in school for it, but it's not like I've been out here doing photography for like 15+ years or something like that.
Right.
And that's what we talk about, what this community is just all about ultimately, man. Like the connections that are built like from this podcast, and just like I say it all the time, man. The Saints brought us together, but it goes so far beyond like the Saints. It's insane. And so much love to Miguel and his lovely wife for just trusting me in that, and the level of trust and respect for that, it just touched me to my soul, man. I was thinking about it at the wedding. I was like, man, like came like from a podcast, bro. From a podcast. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Shout out to Miguel, man. Congratulations to you and yours, bro.
Let's talk about the Saints, Ryan. Let's talk about the Saints. Things wrapping up. OTAs wrapping up. This Taysom Hill thing, bro. I want to give you credit where credit's due, bro. It was your thing. Like when Clint Kubiak got hired, we talked about it before. Like it was just like, man, like if he could just see like Taysom and this Kyle Juszczyk role, and like it was your thing. It was your call, and it really just seems like it has. They kind of getting freaky in the bed with it, bro. Like they get
freaky, bro.
Get freaky.
Trying the thing.
Got bring the toys out. Got the tripod set up, bro. It's the possibilities are endless. and it's exciting. It's an exciting thing to see, and I'm sure Taysom Hill's excited about it, and he's rejuvenated, and it's exciting to see that. Like, it seems like it is going to be a very big part of the offense because it's so heavily being done in OTAs, in the install, and it's cool to see.
It's crazy, man. Like it's crazy things we hearing. I mean, Taysom, he was the main one getting handoffs in this in the past practice, getting handoffs,
Handoffs,
doing
bro.
running outside zone, stretch zone. He had plays where the handoff will fake to him, then give it to the running back, and he's the lead blocker. Um, They're moving around at the tight end position, pushing them on the side at halfback, offsetting them to the side. And look, like I said, you can go watch the 49ers and watch what they do with Juszczyk. And that's what they do, man. Like they use him as a formational chess piece
Yep,
to to dictate certain things by the defense, and it's just gonna be so fast. But the best thing about that is, bro, like really the best thing is it just makes sense.
yes,
Like it made sense if you looked at the player and it just made sense. And so it feels good to have a coaching staff. Because so many times, what do we say? What's the vision? You know what I'm saying? We constantly ask, what's the vision? What are they doing? What are they? Zach Bone and this and that. What is the vision? Finally, we got a coaching staff in there where I see the vision. I see what they're trying to do. It
clear.
makes sense. Will it work? We'll see. It's early in the off season. We don't know what's going to work, if it's going to, but just what we're seeing right now, what we're hearing, the fact that they're doing things that makes common sense from a football standpoint is just good to hear. That's
It
just
is,
good to hear.
and it's good that you're taking a player who has been productive and also been like crucial to the offense. Like when things have not been working, the team has had no choice, especially kind of under DA, to lean on Taysom. Even though I know, like even last year, as an example, the team wanted to get away like from Taysom as much as they could. Like I can say that because it's true. And if you just go back to last offseason, every move that they made in the offseason indicated like they wanted whatever role Taysom played to be filled. What Adam
Yep.
Prentice, Foster Moreau, they re-signed Juwan Johnson. They signed Jamal Williams. They drafted Kendre Miller. Literally everything besides like punt block and kick. Like they wanted to phase Taysom out, right? And because the offense struggled at times and Taysom is break the glass in case of emergency, and Taysom does what he does when you break the glass in case of emergency. He's just a productive, versatile football player. And now I love the fact they're not waiting to break the glass. It's just like
Exactly.
use him and use him to create mix matches. Like it doesn't mean that the ball has to go to him, but if you have a game plan where the defense thinks that the ball may be going to him, that means that someone else is open. Or if you do that enough times of the game and the defense kind of relaxes, and then you do decide to give it to Taysom, man, Taysom in the third and fourth quarter when the defense is tired, bro.
We've seen it, bro. And then now you're not just coming up with packages on the fly. You're already
Mm-hmm.
installing plays this early in OTAs and minicamp. You know what I'm saying? So you're developing a plethora of packages for him to run out of. So it's gonna
Oh,
be
don't.
fascinating,
Ooh,
man.
Eric might have put the backsignal up for Eric, bro. During Pride
Package,
Month, during Power
Jason
Month.
package. So man, it's gonna be fascinating. Just the stuff we hearing, bro. Like they talked about Ross Jackson was talking about how there was one play where the defense got fooled, and I don't remember what player it was, but one of the Saints offensive players like, man, they didn't even see that coming. Like just the fact that Saints are doing things on offense that the defense can't see coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, how long have we been watching this offense, bro? Where it's just like we know everything that's happening. Like we
Everything,
know,
bro.
you know,
Like
first down, run up the middle.
it got
You
so
know,
predictable at one point, bro. Like if you like, especially you could maybe tell what the play was going to be pre-snap,
yep,
pre-snap,
really, pre-snap.
by formation, by package of like the players who were in. You had an idea what the play was going to be. It
You see, who was it? Lynn Bowden. You see him come out there.
It's a run
It's like,
play.
it's like, oh,
Even the Colts player said, "Oh, you got hurt just blocking, huh?"
oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, we about to run the ball.
huh?
5 out here.
Um, another thing that as training camp, not training camp, as OTAs wrapped up yesterday. Get something from Isaiah Bosky? Are we going to get?
Don't get Dante started, bro. Don't get
Can't stand that man.
Pascal out here looking 38, man.
That man look like me, bro. Let it go, bro.
You gotta let it go, bro.
Let it go, Isaiah.
We all been there. We all been there. But I mean, look, he's flashed, bro. Like I paid attention to the notes, and he's been flashing. There's no pads. Obviously, there's no pads. There's no hitting. There's no tackling. So take it with a grain of salt. But it's better than not hearing nothing. That's all I can say. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
It's better than not hearing nothing. So, and he talked about it. At his presser how he was in his head last year. Maybe it's an off-season trope. Where a lot of players say that, but he said he was in his head last year, trying not to make mistakes. And he's just on go now. Like he's on go. He worked out with Aaron Donald's trainer this off season, working on pass rush moves and getting quick off the snap and stuff like that. We'll see, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not expecting anything, but all I know is like if he does bring something, and look, the dude has talent, man. Like I remember
Yes.
watching his tape. He has talent. If he could give us something, man, like that's huge for the defensive line, bro, because
Huge.
they need it bad, bro. They need pass rush in the worst way.
Worst way. It was good to hear. Even though he's recovering from the neck surgery, that Chase Young has essentially been there. All the meetings, all like that. That's good. It's good to hear. It's encouraging. It might not mean anything, but that was encouraging. One of the most. And we'll see what happens because next week it becomes mandatory minicamp.
Yeah,
That Dennis Allen said they expect to see Marshawn Lattimore there.
that's interesting. That's going to be really fascinating. That's going
We'll
to be
see.
really fascinating. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully everybody there. I want to get AK. Come on, AK, bro, get up in there, man. Like I know AK, he don't need OTAs and all that. I get it. But man, get on up in there, bro. I'm ready to see AK in this scheme.
In
I'm
this
ready to see
scheme,
some Camaro, man. I'm ready to
in
see that.
this scheme, I don't know why our stream just ended. Like it just ended on YouTube for what reason? I have no idea.
The hell?
No clue. But we're still going on the actual pod. I don't know why it just ended. What time is it? Like is it? Nope. The only thing I think was maybe I hit the button. Anyway, well, we apologize. We're gonna keep going. And then people can watch the show later. Don't know what happened, but want to see AK in this scheme. The Kendre Miller, like man, he just needs to be healthy. He just
Yeah.
needs to be healthy. Because I really think in this offense, the sky is the limit for him of what he may be able to be as a player in the league if he can stay healthy.
But what's crazy is what I'm hearing is Jamal Williams is really getting more of the load now than Kendrick. Hey, bro, I'm just saying, man. Maybe, just maybe, in this scheme, maybe Jamal Williams might be something. Maybe, even if it's just on the goal line, bro. Even if it's just in the red zone.
I guess like to that point, if he's getting more if he's getting more play like like in the red zone, then why is he taking steps away from Kendre?
I don't know. I mean, it could be just one of them things with older player versus young player. I don't know. I want to see Kendra in there, bro. Give me some juice.
Please.
We need some juice in there, bro. But it could be one of them things where Jamal been around for a while, so I'm sure he can adapt to a playbook pretty much quicker than Kendrick Miller. You know what I'm saying? So, I would. It's not something I worry about or anything like that. I think Kendrick, if he's healthy, I think he's going to get a load. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get his load. He's going to get his fair share.
I hope so, and I hope that he can stay healthy. It really seems like unless something drastically changes. Like they're really banking on that offensive line working out um with Fuaga at left tackle, Nick Salaverde at left guard, Eric McCoy, Ruiz, and Trevor Penning at right tackle.
Not much of a choice. Gotta work. Like it's gotta work. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it. Maybe Landon Young, depending on workout, maybe they put Landon Young in there, but they are fully committed to the Trevor Penning working out. And whether they believe it or not doesn't really matter. They want it to work out, and I'm sure Penny wants it to work out. That dude worked, bust his butt this off season, trying to get right, man. So he said, DA called him, early in the off season after the season was over and said, look, we starting over from scratch.
He
Here's
called
what
him.
we're gonna
Oh,
do.
okay.
Yeah, they actually talked. Right tackle, come in, we're gonna start from scratch. Don't even worry about last year, you're healthy. Let's go, And right now it's on Penny. You got a whole new coaching staff. No,
Right.
like John Benton and all those guys, they said they ain't even worrying about last year. He started right here. So it's on Penny now, bro. It's on Penny. It's on the coaching staff to develop them. Uh, and they're giving him the opportunity. He's been with the ones. So it's like, we'll see. We
We
shall
will.
see. I think come on, man. He doesn't have to become an all pro, but can he just be an average right tackle? If you be an average
Literally, so I think someone in the Discord or someone like, can he just be the Cesar reset of right tackles, bro? Like, just be a
right.
Cesar, like.
That's it, man. Who was that player? I think the Giants drafted a couple years ago. Started off horrible on the offensive line, but I think he improved to be like just a solid offensive lineman. Was it?
It wasn't
Andrew
Andrew
Smith.
Thomas, was it?
I think it was Andrew Thomas. I remember his first year, his rookie year was pretty bad.
It was
It
bad.
was
Yeah.
bad. And then, he came fine. You know what I'm saying?
So it was like, so they drafted Andrew Thomas, left tackle, and then I think the very next year they drafted Evan Neal.
Yeah.
And Evan Neal became the left tackle, and then Andrew Thomas went to right tackle. And it's, if I remember, I don't know the Giants off the top of my head, but it sounds like Andrew Thomas is still like maybe just like probably even a little like below average, and he was drafted like in like the top 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, just be a serviceable right tackle. And it's funny because the 49ers offensive line coach or whatever kind of was in the news because he was just talking about how, they rather take offensive linemen kind of in the middle of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like in the middle of the late draft because he was basically saying like, look, we rather get high value playmakers for this offense and figure out and coach up the offensive line because look, if I could have Brock Purdy throw an 8-yard hitch to Debo or whatever, and Debo takes it to the house, it really doesn't matter if my right tackle getting beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a 2-step, 3-step drop, or boom.
Boom.
So, like, a lot of people's like, what? Like, but I kind
It
of
makes
understand
complete
his
sense.
sense. It makes complete sense. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm wondering if the Saints, if the new brains trust takes that approach, it's like, man, look, we just got to get this offensive line good enough, get the run blocking humming, the pass game good enough. We're going to have to play action pass and all that stuff. Now the question is going to be interesting is when it's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, where you got
Gotta hold up.
When it's a drop back pass, ain't no play action, none of that. You got to stand back there, Derek Carr. Gonna have to read the defense. You got to stand back there and read that defense, and that's when you go see. We'll see.
I'll say this from a fan standpoint. Like, I don't like, we went through the games, right, and did the win-loss record. I think we both had them around like 7 or 8 wins. It was 7 or 8. Yeah, that's right. And I will say this as a fan, I am excited to see what it looks like. Like, even with my annoyance, Derek Carr out here just trying to, I get it, bro. Like, he's trying to do every little thing. conning, barbershop. You can't fool me, nigga. Like, you can't fool me. Can't do it, bro. But he's trying, right? I'm just excited to see how it all ends up and how it all looks, man. Like you said on the previous episode, like we're not gonna see it week one. I mean, sorry, we're not gonna see it in the preseason. We're not gonna see it in the preseason. But week one, against the Panthers, we gonna see. We gonna see.
We'll see, bro. And even week one is like it's not gonna tell the whole story. I was on the Discord today, and they was talking about on the Zoom. Like it was the first offensive play last season was like a 25-yard bomb to Michael Thomas. So I pulled up the Zoom that we did, and boy, we was excited. Boy, we was like, "Woo!" You was like, "Man, look at that ball! He threw that ball." It was just,
it was a great ball, Ryan. It was a great throw.
We was just hype, bro. Hype. You know what I'm saying? So it's the whole how it all plays out is gonna be interesting, man. So even if it's like good at first, it's like I can't wait for the experience though. Just being on a Zoom, man. If you're not a Patreon, become a Patreon so you can join the game day Zooms. That's why honestly that's what I'm looking for the most this upcoming season. Outside the meetup and all that, like just the game day Zooms, being with the community, watching the Saints, just talking football, having fun, laughing. It don't matter if the Saints losing, if they winning, man, we having a good time on that Zoom.
Good time, man. Good time. And it's like when things happen in the game that prior to like disconnecting, that would just it just make my blood boil, like a turnover, a sack. Like they now, like it's like high level comedy to me. Like it is high like comedy. Like when G called Derek Carr throwing like a INT right before it happened, and then it happened, bro. Like, oh my! Even we were at the Texas game when Zach Bond picked the ball up, bro.
Hilarious, man.
I was just, like the people, like even the people like in the community, like you know the people who were Patreons that were at the game with us, like they were annoyed, bro. Like it's just funny to me now.
That was hilarious. I'm about to go into a diabetic coma.
I was anything else from OTAs as it wrapped up caught your attention? One thing that's not OTA related, but it's kind of tangentially Saints related, is Justin Jefferson getting paid $35 million a year.
Man, so fascinating to me.
Because then you have CeeDee Lamb on deck, you have Jamar Chase on deck, you have T. Higgins on deck. And then like after and to me, like those are receivers that are truly like WR1. Even T. Higgins. Like I think even T. Higgins on another
any other team he'd be a wide receiver one.
Absolutely. So after those three get paid, then it's gonna get so interesting with I get it. We looking way ahead. But Chris Olave is going to become contract extension eligible. Garrett Wilson going to be. Ooh,
price of the brick going up.
It's the price. It's the going rate, bruh. It's the going rate.
But I just wonder, like, as far as team building, how it's just how do you view that? Because man, I mean, college has been putting out like good wide receivers every year that are good, like day one. Like, yeah, man, it's underrated how good Chris Olave was just from game one, bro.
I think like
it used to take a while.
You said it the best of like, I forgot it was an episode we did a while ago of just like how he performed as a rookie, like just out the gate. To a lot of like to maybe like fans as a whole, maybe set him up for failure, like in terms of like expectation,
right? Because it was like 1,200 yards. What to do? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy when you really think about it as a rookie.
Like Colston hit 1,200 like once in his career. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like our expectations just changed. Especially like Michael Thomas. We had Michael Thomas. I mean, dude caught 149 passes in a season. So it's like, but just how professional Chris Olave came, and he talked about it. He gained a little bit of like 7 pounds of muscle this off season. Put some bulk on, and look, like. he talked about he's excited. Every offensive player they talk to is excited about this offense.
Offense,
He's
yeah.
excited about it. He's talking about how they setting up in position to get a lot of yards after catch, stuff like that. Something he really wants to focus on. And like we talked about it with Matt Harmon when we had him on, like how and he's beat this horse a lot. Like Chris Olave, of all like the good wide receivers, he probably has the least amount of layups
Layups.
given that he's had in the Pete Carmack offense. Like everything he had to get, it's worked for. You know what I'm saying? He's lining
Go
up at the same spot. Or
go beat him.
go
Go
beat
beat
that
him.
guy. That's it, and he's doing it. And he's doing it. But like, can we get a layup here? Can we get a clear out so he has a wide open? How many times we used to watch, Devery Henderson or Jimmy Graham or whoever wide open, once or twice a game, just like, how did that guy get that open? Well, we'll do the formations, do the route concepts and stuff like that.
All of it.
Can we get some of that? And I think Kubiak gonna give us some of that.
Can't wait. Now, can the ball get there on time? But
Ooh,
yes, that's what I was going back to. Right.
uh,
Um, maybe like it's a little underplayed of how, like during these OTAs, how good Jake Haener looked.
yeah, man,
Little
very fascinating.
underplayed about how good Jake. Because if you just if you just transpose Brock Purdy tape at Iowa State and Jake Haener like prospect tape at Fresno State, I'm not saying that he's Brock Purdy, but the way that they win are extremely similar. They're
Very similar,
extremely similar.
very similar, very good processors, and they both have like a little grit to them. Like what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm.
they kind of get it out the mud a little bit. I could see it. I could see, and Jake Hannon talked about. He made some good points. Like when he came in and got that Saints playbook, it was like they would have him watch like Drew Brees run the offense, and it's like that's fine, but Drew Brees been in that damn offense for 14, 15 years, bro. Like so it's like
You just set a young player up for failure, bro. That's all that is.
exactly. So Hannon was just like, man, like it's kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Like this is complicated stuff. Like what Drew and Sean Payton was doing was just like
Next,
it's just
it's
next
like
level stuff.
it was like soulmates, bro. Like just true
Exactly.
like soulmates. Spoke only a language that them two and Pete Carmichael knew, and that's it.
That's it. And it was an offense that kept building on top of what they did the previous year, the next year, the next year, the next year. So this time everybody's starting from scratch at step one and building it from there. And I think it's gonna benefit Hayner, bro. I think it really is. I think it's gonna benefit everybody.
Right. Just kind of reading practice reports. There's something about Alante, bro. Like as a player, the talent is just there. But he's been playing outside,
Yeah.
because there's no Debo, there's been no Lattimore, and that's where he's
No
like,
Kool-Aid.
there's no Kool-Aid either, and that's where he's like the most comfortable. So it doesn't like shock me to see that he's been playing well because that seems like to be like the position he's most comfortable and natural to him. I just What happens to him is like one of the most fascinating things I think that's going to happen prior to the season of like where
Yeah,
he
man.
plays, if he plays. I don't know, man. Like the battle between, assuming Marshawn doesn't get traded, he doesn't go anywhere. Like the battle between Alante and Kool-Aid for the slot is going to be extremely interesting to see.
Very fascinating, man. Very fascinating. I don't it's just one of those things where it's like, man, you got such a talented player, you want to get him on the field, but they got so many cornerbacks. They just got so mmany cornerbacks. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. But the fact that he's getting so much starting snaps on the outside, I'm like, man, you know, that should
Which
mean something.
it should, but then also that seems like that is like counterproductive because this is assuming Alante's, I'm sorry, this is assuming that Adebo's back and Lattimore's back. To me, like that's more of a disservice to Alante for him to be getting those snaps at the
Right.
outside. Like you would think
Exactly.
if he's going to play the slot, if you have a full starting cornerback room, then his snaps should be at the slot because he didn't get any snaps at the slot last offseason. Like
Right.
have him play the position where he's potentially going to play this season.
I mean, come on.
It seems ass backwards.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Don't get that at all. Anything else, just OTA related. I'll say this, bro. Like Jawan makes a team, right? Like this,
I
just
ain't heard nothing about Juwan. I was thinking that earlier. I was like, man, I think I read one little blurb where he caught a catch from Hayner
yeah,
or something like that.
right.
But I was like, man, what?
But like
I keep hearing about this other kid,
Jacobson,
Jacobson. I keep hearing about him, man.
him and Holker.
Yeah, and
Like
Hoka been with
like
the ones.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked, does Jawan make the team?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Juwan, man.
I don't know either, bro.
I mean, dude had like a really good season with Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. It was like, I mean, I thought he was leveling up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, bro.
no clue. Uh, but I mean, this is kind of like I mean, there'll be a lot of news and information that comes from mandatory minicamp, which is going to be great next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to touch bases with our guy Greg Rosenthal, get him on the show, talk about his projected starter series, excuse me. That's always a fantastic read every off season, because it kind of just recalibrates. Like, oh, I forgot that this player plays for this team. I forgot that this team drafted this player. Kind of just gives you insight for everything that any team in the NFL has done this offseason, in free agency and in the draft. So our goal is to get Greg on next week. He said he'd come on. We just got to figure out the date and the time. Trying to think anything. Oh, I guess we can talk about the USA Today article that listed Dennis Allen as like the worst head coach in football. I guess we can talk about that.
Oh,
I mean, it matches what the NFL PA report card said. So
yeah.
like,
And people was like, I mean, some people, do Juno and all of it was like, oh, I mean, what we arguing about? Like, is he, maybe he's 29th or 30th then? It's like, don't matter. Like, he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL. It don't matter. Like, want to be 31, 31st? Okay. Be 31st worst coach. I don't.
again, other players on the team, not USA Today. These are essentially his employees, his direct reports, voted him as the worst coach in football last season who still has a job. Everyone else that was voted under him got fired. So the USA Today article like only just emphasizes what the players on the team already think of him. Like, what's the argument about? Like, what's the argument? Now, if he starts off and he goes like 5-0 and he just has a great season, are we like we're only hoping for Dennis Allen's downfall? I mean, I think at this point it's kind of been like he's kind of proven that like hopefully the downfall happens, but like this, he knows that this is it for him. He knows this season is crucial for him. That whole big lie of like, oh, we don't listen to the noise outside the get the fuck out my face. Please. We don't listen to the noise outside the building, but we gonna listen to every podcast episode the Saints Block Party podcast do. Okay, bro. Okay. Like, sure. But I didn't even see exactly like what the arguments were. But the man's record in the NFL as a head coach is literally 20.
It was kind of the typical argument of Saints should have blew it up, a couple years ago, mediocre team, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
And,
that's what I like. The blow it up thing is like, what do we? When people say that, I just want to ask, like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I understand, like, blow it up, but like, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just cut player to just try to trade players. Like, what are we actually doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Right, and even blowing it up, like blowing it up in theory, you blow it up in hope of like more than likely, like it becomes like, okay, we blow it up and we're not good. We can get a higher draft pick, and hopefully we get a higher draft pick. We draft more like elite players, and those players help us turn around faster. There's so many factors to that because you have to draft the right players, and then two, even drafting the right players, that means you still have to have the right head coach in place to be coaching these players. Like, so
Exactly.
it's not they're not like mutually exclusive. Like it has to be both. Like you have to look at the Lions, right? The Lions is a perfect example. Brad Holmes, Brad Holmes is the GM. They got Dan Campbell, and then they started drafting the right players, and then they're a half away from going to the Super Bowl. It has to be both. It can't be one or the other.
Right.
So it's just I don't know. Like, should the Saints have conducted a very thorough head coaching search instead of just pretty much giving it to DA? Yeah. Now, does this team look the same under, as an example, Doug Peterson? If Doug Peterson was the head coach rather than Dennis Allen, it probably looks drastically different. The players are probably different. The staff obviously be different. But that's all like going like through sliding doors. But I don't know. I don't know what the argument is.
Yeah.
I
I
guess.
don't know. And it's just like I'm all for criticizing Dig, but just criticize him for the right things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Please.
like just for not blowing the team up. Like that's not the criticism. Like, criticize him for just all the shitty shit he's done the past 2 years. Damn it! Listen to our
What was it?
podcast. We'll tell you. We did a whole podcast, built the whole case against Dennis Allen. Like, just listen to that one.
Casey Novak would be proud. Shout out to my
Proud, bro.
shout out to my girl Casey. Listen, we are the absolute first place when it comes to a DA roast. Like, we are right there.
Put us in there.
When it,
We ready.
and 9 times out of 10, it is 100% justified. But the times where he deserves a little smidgen of credit, we give it to him because like we're not
So
just
do.
all just focusing like on the negative. Listen, I can't stand Derek Carr, bro. Like I can't stand him. Does that mean I'm going into the season hope that he plays poorly? No, because if that happens, that means that as a team, like we're probably like not winning, and it's probably like we're probably not doing well in games. Now, conversely, if he's playing poorly, like yes, the jokes are gonna be out. We gonna get the jokes off. We gonna do all that,
Hey,
and it's probably gonna lead to him getting benched or cut sooner. Either way, we
exactly.
both win. So,
Oh
either
well.
he plays well or he plays poorly. As fans,
But
we both win.
I just want some fun football, man, so
That's
people
it,
can
bro.
watch our podcast. We can talk about fun stuff on the podcast and fun on the game day Zooms. Twitter be popping. Some wins, man.
Oh man, remember those days when we could tweet like, "Oh man, damn, your team ain't clinched their division yet in football? Couldn't be
Oh,
me."
bro. Could be me.
Feels like forever ago, right?
Niggas teams ain't in the playoffs.
The closest we had last year, bro. Like, oh, your team ain't 2-1 or 2-0. Couldn't be me.
That was the
Down,
highlight. That
down
was
here
the
from there, bro.
highlight.
Yeah.
Downhill.
Maybe we should start doing it in the preseason, bro. Like that might be our peak. Your team didn't go undefeated in the preseason. Be me. Anyway, don't know what happened with YouTube. I might have just used it could have just been my fat finger and I could have maybe hit the end stream button, but I'm hoping that was all that it was, but it may have been something else, but I think that may have been it. But anyway, we just wanted to get on and just talk about recapping the OTAs and just recapping everything and, putting content out and just, giving y'all something to listen or watch. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe on YouTube and on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, and all of it, because ultimately we're doing this for you guys, for the community. We thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the people who are continuing to listen, even though there's a lot of tumbleweeds floating around in the football sphere. But we're in June, and we're like what? It's like in the not in the middle of June, like we're beginning of June, but give it about like 2 months and a half. It's like becomes like its own little, I don't know, man. It's like its own little. It's just full speed ahead at that point.
Full
Like
speed, bro.
it is no slowing down. Like what was it? That Saints Niners preseason game, which is the second preseason game, is August 28th, or excuse me, August 18th, which I will be at.
Oh,
Right in the thicket, bro, with the camera, and so it's gonna be fun. So it'll be here before we all know it. Trust me. So, but thank y'all for listening and just giving us love as always. We really, really appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without y'all. If you're listening, perfect time to become a Patreon and get in on all the things that we do as a podcast. There's so many perks and features, game day Zooms, access to the Discord, the meetups, all of it. And we have a lot of people who have not been to a meetup yet. We're going to be at the meetup this year. Have our dude Alberto coming from Amsterdam. We got our dude Bayou coming, and it's going to be special. Like it's going. We got our dude Chris, your boy whose name you completely just nailed from Canada, who was at the Texans meetup. He'll be at the he'll be at the meetup too. So it's gonna be an event as it always is. So we thank y'all, we love y'all, appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. With that, we're out.
Peace.